Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Four Color Lowdown with Byron. I'm Byron, and here's Doug. Doug Wood. How you
Hello,
doing, man?
everybody. I'm doing pretty good. How are you today?
Not bad, not bad. Tell me about your week. How did things go? What you reading?
Um, the week was busy. There was wrestling this weekend. There was sick family, so just lots of time. I did get to spend a little bit of time. I was catching up on Jed McKay and uh, I can't pronounce the artist name, but Alesso Cappuccino. That's probably totally off.
I'm terrible
Um,
with names. Yeah, I get it.
their Moon Knight run, and I really enjoy Moon Knight, and I really enjoying their version of Moon Knight so far. So it's been really exciting to catch up and find out what's going on in that world right now.
Very cool. Yeah, yeah. I did. I'm a trades guy, as people know. So I got back into did the old school. I don't know if you've ever read
Yes,
Phonogram. Yeah,
yes.
that was really, really good. And as somebody who spent like 15 years in the music business on the road,
Oh, did you? Okay,
I feel like I lived the American version
okay.
of this story. So it definitely resonated. And then catching up with Percy's Ghostwriter,
Ooh.
which I think this is, yeah, it's volume 4. And that's about, I think, personal opinion, about the best Marvel thing going right now.
Really?
They've really gone back to like horror roots with Ghost Rider, and it's a lot of fun. And then Batman, the Brave and the Bold. This is the Tom King and Mitch Gerard's the winning card that they've collected it now in a trade, but originally it was like sequential through the different Brave and the Bold, and it's kind of a Joker focused story, and
Okay.
kind of a sort of a retelling of the origin of how Batman and the Joker met, and it's excellent. So
Oh,
that's been my week in reading. So
that's awesome. For the ghostwriter, I know they were going to switch ghostwriters. Who is the current ghostwriter right now?
this one's Johnny
That
Blaze,
one's Johnny Blaze. Okay.
but it's out, so I can give it away or whatever. But in the end, you've got Mephisto talking about there's a new Ghost Rider. So I'm
Sure.
assuming that might be the transition to Danny again.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I just remember seeing the stuff for it, and I just couldn't remember if they ever showed off who the new one was or not.
the solicits are definitely for Danny. I really wish
Okay.
they'd go back and do the Native American version of Ghost Rider
Oh,
and
that
do
would be neat.
do that again. Maybe they
Yeah.
will. Hopefully. But yeah, lots of stuff going on this week. I'll let
Yes.
you kind of kick off the news, and then I'll elaborate. How's that sound?
Okay. The first thing that I saw on the news as I was going through the Yeti mailbox was Oni and Skybound have announced a lot of new hires and promotions in their editorial divisions.
Yeah, I
Some
saw that.
people from like Ben Abernathy coming in from DC, and oh, I think his name is apologize, I'm forgetting names already. There was another gentleman coming in from Oni Press. I mean, from Volt Comics. I mean, sorry.
Okay.
Uh, and so they were. It was really impressive because I think there were some rumors, especially like I read on like Bleeding Cool, that like Ben was offered like Batman, and he instead jumped to Skybound. It was pretty interesting to hear that.
Oh, that is interesting.
I was gonna say what else is also as I go through the stuff, Dynamite has announced that they've acquired the Terminator license. They're preparing for the 40th anniversary of the IP, and so they're going in big. And I think they're going to be announcing a not Kickstarter, but the other backer kit for the 40th anniversary collection of the properties.
That's really cool. We got some folks listening. How's it going
Hello.
out there? Yeah. Always nice
Um,
to see people actually paying attention to what we're doing. That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Let's see what else is there. Oh, One for Sorrow has been announced. Speaking of somebody you were showing up earlier, Jamie McKelvey is
Yeah.
announced his new book through, and I'm just going to say distillery, but it's like DSTLR, whatever.
It's just it's distillery.
Okay.
That's how they pronounce it. Yeah.
He's announced his new book. It's the press release is really wordy, but it boiled down that there's a killer on the loose in 1900 London, and he may be a monster. Is kind of like the question. And there's a disgraced detective, a Russian medium, and a barmaid all getting pulled into the path of this killer and what's going to happen. I really enjoy his work in the past, so I'm hoping to try to pick up that comic because it sounds exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think on my end, the comics community has been rocked this past week with the tragic suicide of Ed Piskor. I'm not going to offer an opinion on that subject because it's an absolutely toxic discussion. But what I will say is that those kinds of things can be a catalyst for other people to potentially harm themselves. So one of the things that's really important to me when I speak on any platform is to normalize talking about mental health and that we all struggle. So just to say, if anyone is in a dark place out there, there is help. Whether that's through a professional, a friend, a family member, there's always a path forward. And my DMs are always open. So, people can reach out to me if nobody else is available. I think overshadowed by all this as well was the passing of comics artist Mark Bright, who left a lasting impression through his work on projects like Icon and Rocket for DC's Milestone, which kind of paved the way for greater representation in comics for people of color. And it's hard to forget his iconic Spider-Man work,
Yes.
Spider-Man versus Wolverine. So rest in peace, Mark, and thank you for all you did.
Amazing artist.
Yeah. Is that all we got in news? You got more?
That's it for me for news for this week.
Awesome.
I also, so we can go into the crowdfundings this week. Do you want to start or do you want me to start here?
Yeah, I mean, I can kick it off.
Okay.
So the stuff that I wanted to highlight that I saw, man, I feel terrible saying I want to highlight smut, but I'm going to highlight smut. That's
We were
just
both
launched
wanting
from.
to.
Yeah, well, that's from our, comic book Yeti homie Wells Thompson, who pulled his wife Brianna actually this time into co-writing it with him, working on this not safe for work erotic comedy. I saw the preview for this, and it's got like a modern Sex and the City vibe to it. And normally that not safe for work erotic designation is not my bag. But this is kind of a really sex positive portrayal of modern late 20s life. So I'm down. It looked really cool and actually funny. So I thought that
Uh,
was neat.
I remember reading just recently there was a tweet saying like, "Where is all the new adult comics?" And this could fill that space. I really think that's a market that doesn't get enough attention in comics. Is those young early 20s? There's a spot for new young readers. There's a spot for middle grade readers. There's a spot for us older readers. But where's for the early 20 people? And I'm excited to see what Wells has cooked up here.
Yeah, I mean it's a little spicy. You throw a vibrator on a cover and it's gonna be a little spicy,
Yeah.
but yeah, but I like what I saw from it. We've also got comics that are dying, and we're shifting away from Kickstarter a little bit there, and it's funding on Zoop. It's a collection of 101-page comics. It's spearheaded by Louis Sothard, and it's centered around the history of the comics industry and that age-old promise that it's always dying. So the
Yeah.
list of contributors is kind of a who's who in the indie comic scene, and I was a backer from day one on this. It looks like a lot of fun, so people should jump in on that. It looks great. Couple of things that I found that are kind of under the radar. There's Isabel the Witch, and I always like to feature something for younger readers. You were just talking about younger readers there.
Yes.
And there's about a week left for Isabel and the Witch on Kickstarter. It's a light-hearted fantasy comedy about witches living in close proximity to a Puritan village in 17th century America. And this is from Greek's comics creator. And okay, I'm going to do the Doug thing with names and apologize, but Irini Sakura. I hope I got
That sounds
close
pretty.
there. Yeah, well, it's available in both Greek and English. The artwork is really cute. Feels a little Disney, as Isabel romps through the mishaps of training to become a full-fledged witch. It's fully funded and already has a Projects We Love designation. So
Amazing.
that one was neat. And then The Second Safest Mountain. So it's a graphic novel on Kickstarter from Prism nominated, and I seem to pick the hard names this week. Octavia Hekilia? We'll
Mm.
say that's close.
Okay.
So it was originally released as a digital comic and is now collected. And the story revolves around leaving a mountain that's dedicated to the sacredness of women and having to navigate the world below as someone leaves.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it has a visual feel, something released from Fantagraphics, and for context, it's kind of reminiscent of Laura Perez's Totem, which was from Fantagraphics last year, and was definitely one of my favorites from last year. So as someone with a significant autoimmune condition that reacts to everything, this whole idea of leaving the house and the relative safety of the comfort of that, and braving the world immediately resonated to me.
Yeah, I
It's already funded its goal, and it's got about a week left too. So
think I saw that one. Yeah, it looks very interesting. I hope they get to the moon on that one because that's pretty awesome.
yeah, what you got?
I saw a ghost arm made of angry ghosts. This is Alex Didito, Taylor Esposito, and Oliver Mertz. Sorry, and this one looks interesting. I was given the art for it last second, so I'm not 100% sure what all is going on. But if you get a chance, I think Alex Didito, his art is to die for, and all the projects that he's worked on with, oh shoot, I think a lot of comicsology original stuff has been really
Okay.
fascinating. I think it was comicsology originals. Forgive me. There's so many people in the comics industry, always trying to remember everybody.
Yeah.
Um, but if you love uh, like color being the setting tone on comics and art that's easy to read and understand with panel layouts that are you know interesting, I think this is something you guys will be interested on. As well as that is there's also Destroy the Moon. That's
Oh yeah,
from
yeah.
Brendan
Babetsky.
Albetsky. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a collection of Volume One and Volume Two of the of his work. This is really exciting. A lot of big bombastic art, a lot of bright colors. I'm really excited about this one. Let me see. Oh no, I didn't write it down here. Oh shoot, I had the pitch and it was really fun. Let me see if I can find
Yeah.
it real quick.
Jimmy interviewed him on the podcast about that one actually, and it's really cool some of the stuff he's been doing. I follow the sketches and stuff he's been working on. So he did a Warduke the original Saturday Morning Adventures, Dungeons and Dragons stuff that was
Oh,
really cool. So yeah,
oh, here we go. Here's the
Brandon's doing
synopsis of
cool
this
stuff.
one. This is so Maru Kiru lost everything to the cult of the moon, and the only way to get her revenge is destroy the moon. And this is going to be 198 pages of fantasy pulp violence and an explosive color, and featuring a rage of fury of comics. And so I am down for this big bombastic explosive colors, destroying the moon. That sounds just right up my alley. Okay, do you want to go on to comics coming soon that you saw that you wanted to highlight?
Yeah, yeah. So in the crowdfunding space, what caught my eye was Witches of Oz, which is a magical queer romance set in that old familiar territory of the land of Oz. So Glinda the Good is now an outcast, and of course, the only person she can turn to is the Wicked Witch. So it already has, this will blow your mind, over 1,100 followers on the Notify Me. Yeah, yeah. So, my prediction, and that's not any kind of, big out there bet, is it's going to be a big one. Yeti friend Kat Kalamia, and I'm sorry, Kat, if I butchered your last name, is the project creator on it, which has a track record of producing successful after successful campaign in the crowdfunding space. And usually there's an early bird opportunity. So everyone should hit that notify me on launch to take advantage of that. The other thing that caught my eye, and I'm going to say this with a bit of grain of salt, which is the Lumberjanes collected graphic novel library. So Boom Studios is collecting the popular Lumberjane series as a 10th anniversary graphic novel library. Not sure if that's going to be a massive like omnibus or if they're just going to be the individual collected volumes like in a box or something like
Yeah, like
that.
a box set. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still solidifying my feelings on whether big publishers in the crowdfunding comic space is a good thing or not.
Yeah.
But there's not really anything I can do about it. So I really, really love that, coming of age series set in summer camp. Yeah, back when there was my wife's best friend's kids, introduced me to it. So they're always like, "Oh yeah, did you read this Lumberjane?" So they followed my progress as I read it. So it's kind of near and dear to my heart, and it's got a Yeti in it.
Yeah,
So
I really enjoy the series. You did hear some rumblings of how they were not paying the creators at the time so hot. So hopefully they're gonna try to make good, but I'm guessing they're not. It's just the way the publishing works, unfortunately. So yeah, if you feel like you want to support them, support them. If not, then I totally understand that too.
yeah, it's a tricky one. So what do you got in the coming up category?
Okay. I only had one for this week, and this is going to be another hard to say, but it's uh, Refugium. This is, of course, the big book coming out from. Oh no. Uh, oh, my brain.
Doug blanked.
I
Wah,
just
wah.
blanked on everybody's name. Jeez. Trying to find names real quick. Um,
Is that one on Kickstarter?
it's going to be coming to Kickstarter. It might be coming up here soon. Simon Roy. I knew that Simon was part of the name, but I just was blinked on the last.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
I've already written up about another project that he just had out here recently through Image, which was a collection of his stuff after the Kickstarter. So this is a new one. He always does stuff webcomic and then or Patreon exclusives, and then they get collected and goes to Kickstarter. And anyways, I wrote on Comic Book Yeti. I feel like he's one of the most electrifying artists on his generation. Um, when I read his work, it's so inspiring for me. I sometimes zone out of what I'm reading and start thinking of ideas for myself. It's just something that I don't know. His art and his storytelling just like unlock something for me, and I cannot recommend his work enough to people to try to check out if you haven't before.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more because I saw that come through yesterday. I don't know if you posted it or if Roy posted it, but it
I
looks
think I
great.
was asking him if, hey, I want to cover for the website. Could I
Ah,
know
yes.
what
Okay,
day it launches?
cool. I think that's all we got in the crowdfunding space. Do you want to transition into like new comics out in shops this week?
Sure, sure. On the website, I cover this as what would I buy? I would go into a comic shop if I had maybe $5 and what book I could purchase for $5. Or if I came back and I had $15, what book or books could I buy for $15? Or if I had a lucky magical day that I came in with $30, what would that big purchase be? And I'll start us off. If I had $5 this week, my purchase, and I'm going to cheat a little bit, is going to be When the Blood Has Dried.
Yeah.
Not only I'm going to put a disclaimer, I have worked with the writer Gary Maloney before, but
Okay.
I was also privy to an early copy of the book. And I just have to say I really enjoyed it so much that I went and pre-ordered immediately when I saw it and read it. So it's a fantasy adventure about. Well, trying not to spoil it now that I've read it. I'm not. This is why I don't usually take on early
New,
previews because I
new stuff.
hate to try not to know where the line is.
Well, I mean, I
Uh,
think I've read it too. I think it's safe to say they're semi-retired. How
right,
do we? Yeah, yeah,
adventure.
semi-retired adventurer in a bar.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. And what drags them back
Yeah.
to the adventure? Um, Daniel Romero's art, I think that's Daniel Romero, is just fantastic on this. And the early sequence that they've been previewing is for me to die for. The color really highlights the blood and grime and grit that they have to go through, and that that sequence, and I can't recommend this book enough.
Yeah, Jimmy is crazy hype on that, probably because he took us this recent trip to Ireland with his brother Bobby for a birthday trip, and they went to the comics festival, I believe in Dublin, that was
Oh, really?
going on. So he got to hang out with Gary and
Oh, that's
Declan Shalvey, and yeah, he's I guess family now in the Irish comics community. So yeah, he's super hype on that one. For me, I've got Rat City #1,
Mhm.
and there have been a bunch of new Spawn launches recently. You know, I've been out of the Spawn loop honestly for some time, but Gunslinger kind of set me back in. So this is the futuristic version of Spawn. It's written by Erica Schultz, who I think's a fantastic writer, and it follows ex-soldier Peter Karn. But unlike Al, you know, Peter ain't dead, but he gets his powers through nanites in his prosthetic legs that were I guess, affected by Al Simmons in the past.
Oh, I
Uh,
didn't see that part of it. Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, yeah. And Erica's working with artist Z Carlos on the project, so not much available in terms of preview pages that I've seen too much about it, but I mean, it looks pretty cool. And it's a toss up. I would probably honestly thumb through that one
Yeah.
and see if I like this other one a little bit better because Action Comics 1064 and that's continuing that great, you know, Williamson Sandoval Sanchez run on the book, kicking
Mm.
off the new House of the Brainiac storyline, which I believe will bleed into Green Lantern a little bit, if my understanding is correct
Oh,
about it.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So I have no idea how you know Williamson can continue to write as many quality things as he does, but he's pulling it off. So
Awesome.
pretty impressive. But yeah, I'd flip through those two and probably pick whichever one resonated the most. So
The Rat City, it has a little bit of vibe of Punisher 2099. I don't know. Something to me that makes me feel like that. Maybe the cover and the colors and stuff like that.
yeah,
So
yeah, I could see that.
I'd be interested to try it out.
Yeah.
So if I went to a comic book shop for and I had $15, I would stick with my When the Blood Has Dried. I'd also look into Uncanny Valley #1 and Ultimate X Men #2. Starting with Ultimate X Men #2, I tried the first one, and I found that one really interesting. I don't know if you've tried it out, but it's armor set in Japan. She's a schoolgirl. Something's amiss. Something's going wrong. There's something haunting her. It seems like maybe what's the X-Men villain Shadow King? It seems
Mhm.
like that's maybe the word they're going, but the art is just this is something that is different and needed in the comics shops. I feel like, especially in the mainstream comics. So I'm glad to go out and support this book, as well as Uncanny Valley #1. I really like Tony Fleck's writing. He's doing art also for Local Man and recently Feral. So I would pick that up with artist. Oh, this is beating me up today. Sorry. #1. Apologize.
No, you're good.
Um, oh, Dave Watcher. Oh, yes. There's a connection to Punisher, as I was just mentioning. Yeah. So this looks intriguing. I've only seen the cover. I'm trying not to give myself. Sometimes I do that. I like to do that. I like to just see what's in the shop and see what looks interesting, or maybe follow a writer or artist I really enjoy, and
Yeah.
just kind of be surprised when I start reading. And that's something that this week that's what I'm trying to go for.
Cool. Yeah. Mine in that category would be the Poetry of Ron Volume 2. That's from Titan. So this is a manga from Yuzuki Osawa. I got the first volume already, so
Ooh, that looks
definitely
interesting.
pick that up. It centers around Ron, who is a monster slayer that absorbs the evil from the creatures that he slays into himself. So monster hunters don't live that long.
Yeah.
Um, I
Okay.
think there's only two books in the series, so this is the second. So it's one of those things you don't have to commit to, you know, a 20 book manga series or anything. Not that most people mind that, but
Yeah.
it's a nice, easy jump in, get volume 1, get volume 2, and get a nice little, tight manga story. So
I love that
um,
premise. It's an easy pitch.
yeah, yeah, and the artwork is beautiful. I guess it's been a relatively recent thing getting into manga for me. I'm late to the party. But I'm really, really picky about the artwork on books, and some of them just don't resonate with me,
Sure.
for
Yeah.
whatever reason, some of the popular ones, but this one I thought was beautiful. So, and I've been working my way through Toilet Bound, so everybody's like, "Yay, you're reading Toilet Bound." So,
I couldn't get into that one as much. I
really?
don't, yeah.
Okay.
But that's probably me. I have less toilet bound humor, I guess. Is
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so you're big spender. You got
okay.
$30. What you
If
doing?
I come in with $30, I think I can keep what I had already, and I would pick up Food School. This was something I saw on the previews that I had not been familiar with, and this is me not being prepared again. Uh, it was from Conundrum Press. This is with Jada Armstrong as the artist. It's really cutesy art, almost manga inspired.
Okay.
Um, and let me try to read the solicit here real quick. Um, a 20 something college dropout enrolls in a full time outpatient program for eating disorder recovery. As they change their relationship with food, their relationships with people changes too.
Okay.
I, I don't know what it is about it, but I don't know. I just wanted to give something different a try, and sometimes I like to do that. I have a very eclectic taste, so um, finding something that maybe inspires me later or something that resonates, I don't know. So this was my
Yeah,
pick
I
for
mean,
food.
it seems like food related material is really big right now. What's that series that was manga and it's now out on Netflix?
Delicious and Dungeon. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that seems huge right now. So
Yes.
nice. Yeah, that sounds cool. Well, my $30, I think I would stick with poetry and actually add the Sacrificers Volume 1. So I'm a big, Remender fan, and he's working with Max Fuimara on this. That's the artist. You might
Oh.
remember Max from Amazing Spider-Man. He's done
Mhm.
so many different things, but the
Yes.
artwork in that is just gorgeous, and it's a dark science fiction set in an idyllic paradise. But the question is always at what cost? So I'm cheating because I just got this last night myself, and I started reading it, and that first issue is very emotionally rough.
Oh.
It's pretty brutal, but I got through issue 1 and 2 last night, and two is a little bit easier, but like for a first issue, it is brutal. So
Oh. I'm gonna have to check that one out too because I'm not familiar with this one at all.
it's really, really pretty, and you have the premise where they're using anthropomorphic animals. So it's a sort of another one of those, and there's definitely some digging into racism. So
Mm.
some of the I guess the races in that the different animals will look down, on other ones, and so it looks great so far. But I've enjoyed it.
Remender has some of my favorite comics. Sometimes I will pass on some of his books, but Fear Agent and some of the other ones are just some all time favorites of my on my comic book shelves.
Which one did you pass? Just curious.
um, I think Black Science didn't really speak to me as much,
Okay.
and I was enjoying oh, what's the school one?
Oh, Deadly Class.
Yes, I was enjoying it early, but I think as it went on, I wasn't as much in love with it. But also that might have been a timing thing where I was really liking Five Deadly Weapons by Jimmy Robinson. That had
Okay.
kind of a similar assassination school thing kind of going on. So
Yeah.
that might have been just a taste. Hey, I found the one I wanted, and this one is not as what I loved at the time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I find myself sucked into Rick's work constantly. Like
Oh,
Tokyo Ghost is one of my favorites, and that's kind of that dark dystopian thing, which
yeah.
usually isn't my bag. But I thought it was a fantastic series. So
Okay.
cool. So what else we got on deck?
Um, I think that's it for me. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do a quick mention on what we got going on the podcast. So, Crypto Creator Corner podcast episodes out this week. Jimmy is chatting with Ben Huminiak and Travis B. Hill about their new Bandabard series, Alas Goodbye.
Oh,
So,
okay.
as I was editing that last night, I got a little bit of peek into the conversation. I haven't had a chance to listen to it fully yet, but this is definitely one of those where it's a vibes episode, and everybody was clearly having a lot of fun, and they were talking about their love of Batman and all sorts of things. So
Okay.
um,
I'm a big fan of both of them. I disclaimer, I'm in a Discord, I mean a Twitter group chat with them, so
oh,
talk to
okay.
them constantly. So, but I always wish them success because good comic creators.
Yeah, Jimmy said Ben is absolutely one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. So
Yes,
yeah.
and
uh,
very good at to help you realize when you fix problems and stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
okay,
Very,
gotcha.
very the teacher, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, both my parents were career public school educators, so that's a familiar space for me. Um, well, and then mine, I'm super excited. It's going to drop on Friday. I got to talk to comics writer David Pepose on the show to hear all about his new Dynamite Comics project, Space Ghosts. So super interesting to see how these different iterations of the character shaped how David wanted to develop the series. He came in from a coast to coast era.
I
Fan,
think a
he
lot
was
of us
that
did.
was his era of fandom. I'm a little bit older, so I grew up exposed to the original TV show. So he had, as expected, from talking to him several times, he is really a data driven person.
Oh,
Was
really?
it
I didn't know that.
yeah, so like what is that? Oh, it's gonna escape me. But the series he's doing with Alex Cormack, it's another Mad Cave book.
Yeah,
You've got
yes.
the
Oh shoot, what is it called?
yeah, it's totally escaping me, but it's about the demon who's inhabiting people in
Yeah,
16th, 15th
S-
century.
something wearing our face, but that's as far as I remember.
The Devil Wears My Face.
There we go.
Yeah. But Jimmy interviewed him in last fall about that, and he was talking about how much research he did on going back into all these Catholic popes and which one he wanted to center it around with the church and the conflicts that were going on at different time periods. And in this one, he went back and watched every single Space Ghost episode from the original series to all the coast to coast just to see what he could pull out
Hmm.
in terms of threads and being able to expand upon villains that just hadn't gotten as much attention. So yeah, it's a great chat. I'm really looking forward to that book. So
I'm excited. I have worked with David in the past. He is super kind, uh, and I would say that that was another one that I went out right away and pre-ordered as soon as I could possibly do.
yeah, those covers are bananas,
Yeah,
like just amazing. So but cool. Yeah, that's a Crypto Creator Corner wherever you download your podcast and or .com. We got the website too. So
and
um
look for my written up for Colorado Lowdown on the Yeti website. This week on my What I Would Buy, I had a guest creator come in, and it's going to be Mario Candanella, and he's
nice.
going to be doing his version. So if you want to get somebody else's perspective on what comics are interesting, there's going to be somebody else doing it this week.
Awesome. Yeah, didn't you have Wells and somebody else last week too?
Wells and Luis was in the was in the chat. I don't know if he still is. So
Nice. Very cool. Well, you got anything else?
hello, Luis. I see you.
Oh, let's see. He's still here. We still see you. Awesome. Well, that's all I got. If you're good, we'll
Yep.
we'll
I
call
think I'm.
that a wrap. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. We
Yes. Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Make sure to check out Doug's column. It drops tomorrow. Is that what
Yeah.
or today?
Tomorrow. No,
Okay.
tomorrow.
Awesome. So yeah, Four Color Lowdown on Comic Book Yeti's website. Everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. I'm Byron O'Neal. That's Doug over there. Doug, you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.